morning on a Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. That's what we're doing. We're doing 10 Minutes with Tim on the Grayscale Podcast. I'm Tim, one half of the Grayscale Podcast crew. You've probably met my buddy Ray. He's the other half. So this morning on 10 Minutes with Tim, where I give you 10 minutes worth of my 2 cents, I want to ask you a question about your views on things, whether that's politically or religiously or just in general. And are those views that you have actually your views and opinions? Or have you been swayed one way or the other by the TV that you watch, the political party that you're part of, the news channels that you consume, the people you follow on Facebook, everything, right? The short answer is we're all swayed in some way by outside influences. That's just gonna happen. But the deeper part of the question is, are you letting those influences really determine your view on something versus having your own thoughts and opinions on a thing? I'll give you some examples or some things to think about maybe. And I'm gonna get like, some of these aren't political, but they, for some reason, land on people, they hit people politically. Are you for or against abortion because you are for or against abortion, or because that's what you were told to be by your political party or what you saw on the news? If someone could, if you're for abortion, if you're pro-abortion, or whatever, you believe a woman has the right to choose. If someone could prove to you scientifically that a baby, or rather that what's growing inside that woman was a life form, would you still be for abortion and a woman's right to choose? So like, or are you simply for that because someone's told you that it's not a life until it comes out and you believe that, right? That's a pretty heated topic, so I'm not going to really get any more into that, but like, some other examples are like gun control and gun rights, right? Do you really think that guns are bad and that people that carry guns are going to go around shooting people? Or is that what you've seen people say and heard people say on TV and what your friends on Facebook say, and so you just agree and you're like, yep, that makes sense. People with guns are going to shoot people, so no one should have guns. Or the opposite could also be true. Are you pro-gun because of what you saw on TV and Facebook? Or do you actually have your own opinion? That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of, right? Do people actually make their own opinions about things? Some good examples are things that have happened recently in the news, right? We had, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, and that's going to really upset me. The gentleman in Atlanta that was shot and killed by the police. We found out that he took a taser, all of those sorts of things, right? We found all that stuff out kind of as the thing went along. But did you watch the video content of him, of that interaction, and make your own opinions about it? Or did you watch one of the talking heads in the media and on Facebook? Even us, right? Like even our show could fall into this category, right? Did you watch a show and hear someone else's opinion about what happened and adopt that opinion as your own? That's what I think most people do. They see that an event happened, and then they go to their favorite news source to see what they're supposed to think about it. They don't watch the thing that happened. At this point in our history, when an event happens that's newsworthy, we can actually watch the event happening without having to watch someone else tell us about it. You can go straight to the source for the most part, right? So there was a shooting this morning in Panama City Beach, a local to us town. Ray actually was out on his morning run and ran up on the cop cars in the road. There's a video of it on his personal Facebook. We find out now that it's an officer-involved shooting. I just saw a headline about that earlier. Now, this particular incident, since it's officer-involved, will probably get eventually some body cam footage. Now, we don't know this whole story, so we don't know exactly what occurred, but there will be probably some witness reports, some things like that come out. And everybody that wants to can go online and tell their version of what happened, right? We know that the right is going to spin it one way and the left is going to spin it another way. If it's a white cop, black suspect, it's going to get spun that way. If it's a, you know what I mean? Like all of those things are going to take effect. But we don't have to listen to that anymore. We can go straight to the source, see the video of the occurrence of the event, and make our own decisions about what happened. We're not slaves to the media anymore like we used to be. You know, it used to be that if you wanted to know what was going on in the world, you had to watch the news. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to watch the news. You don't have to go to... Look, I love Ben Shapiro, right? I think he's one of the most, at least early in his career. More and more now, I tend to not be able to listen to him because I think he's fallen off of this a little bit. But he was kind of a straight shooter. He was like, this is the information, and there it is, right? But now as he gets more popular, he starts to give his opinion more often. And in giving your opinion to someone, you're essentially telling them how to feel and what to think about a situation, about a scenario. And at the end of the day, we should be free and are free now to make our own decisions, to come up with our own opinions, to not have to listen to the talking heads, essentially, right? So my question to you this morning is just that. When something happens, when George Floyd gets his neck squished in for 9 minutes, right? Is your first reaction to go to Fox News or CNN and see what you're supposed to think, or to actually think? Because asking the news what you're supposed to think, asking your political party what you're supposed to think, isn't thinking for yourself. That's saying... So the question is, one of the questions that I have, that I've asked recently, and it pertains to this, is are the things that you believe the reason that you are part of the political party that you're part of? Or is the political party that you're part of the reason that you believe the things that you believe? I'll let you think about that, because I think that's a huge question, and I think there's a lot of people that let their political party dictate their stance on things versus letting their stance on things dictate their political party or even anything else. If you're letting the news or your political party dictate the way you think, you're a slave to those people. You don't have to be that anymore. There was a time where you that's how you got information, right? Information is out there. Information is free. Everyone has access to it for the most part. There's still about, I think, like a very small percentage of the world that doesn't have internet access currently. But pretty much everybody can get internet access. And if you can get internet access, you have free information. You don't have to ask what to think anymore. You can make your own decisions. It's harder. Let me tell you, it's harder to do. It's harder to watch the video of something happening, an event in the news, right? It's harder to watch the video and go, this is what happened, and this is how I feel about it, than to just turn on the news channel and wait for them to tell you what to think. It's easier. That's easier. It's easier for them to tell you, this guy was a thug, so he deserved it, than for you to watch the video and go, man, like, this guy was a human being. He was probably scared for his life. He was doing everything he could, or what he thought was he needed to do to survive, or whatever, right? Like, whatever the case is, it's harder to think for yourself, but we've got to start doing it. We've got to start thinking for ourselves. We've got to stop letting the talking heads dictate what we think. So think about, does your stance on things determine your political party and what news channel you watch and who you follow on Facebook? Or does your political party / news channel of choice / who you follow on Facebook determine your stance on things? So that's 10 Minutes with Tim for the day. I left you with a little question at the end. I'd really appreciate it if you'd take a few minutes to actually answer that question and really think about it. Don't just say what you think is true. Really think about it. Really dig deep and think, are these really my thoughts, or are they the thoughts of someone else that was pushed on me, right? Really take the time to think about it. And let me know in the comments below what you come up with. What's the answer? And don't just say one or the other. Like, give me a real answer. I want to know. I want to know if I'm off base on this, because I think I'm not. I really think that people, for the most part, people don't think for themselves anymore. And that's not the way it should be. We should be thinking for ourselves. Free people should think for themselves. Slaves don't have that right. They don't have the option to think for themselves. If you're not thinking for yourself, in my opinion, you're a slave to whatever is feeding you the information that you believe. So, yeah. Call to action. Answer the question if you don't mind. Give me a little insight on what you think about that. And the grayscale's going black. Hope you guys have a good morning.